I'm not. I'll never be faking, it's always legit. Started with nothing and I made a lot. Put food on the table, now everyone lit. We not the same, I put in the work, I never complain. If I were to fall, I'm taking the blame. While they all be pointing the finger and that is a shame. Know it's my time, they calling me dame. The game on the line, I'm running the play. Man of my word, I say what I mean and I do what I say. Looking for me, but they not even part of my league. I've been on fire, 200 degrees. Out of Miami, but repping the sea. Live in the sky, I'm feeling the breeze. Never went Hollywood, did it my way. I felt the love and I've been betrayed. I took the knife in my back and I sharpened it. Now I'll be coming for everyone, blocking my lane. I put the game in a chokehold. They'll be moving in slow-mo. Shooting my shot from the logo. And I be cooking up so low. I be the only one calling the shots. Nobody else ever taking control. They'll be trying to put me in a box. I can't relate to no internet trolls. They can't do it like me. Too locked in, I've been in my zone. If you don't ride with me, then I'ma make it on my own. Waiting for my demise. Been too long, I'm never gonna fold. Violence all I see. Feel like my mind in a war zone. Yeah, let me take you back to when I was starting out on the come up. I was grinding till the sun up. My neighbors told me to shut up, but they couldn't see the bigger vision. Got no intuition. Now my taxes more than that tuition. They see how I'm living and my idols becoming my competition today. I remember I was making under minimum wage. It was part of the story, but now I'm turning the page. And I got bars for days, but can't be locked in the cage. I've been underrated, overlooked like a speed limit. They've been trying to slow me down like I got a speeding ticket. I got demons I keep hitting in the back of my head. I'm not vegan, I keep feeding off the shit that they said. I've been living out my dreams while they stuck in their bed. I've been thinking like a king till the day that I'm dead. I remember when they never would've listened to me, and now I'm everything that they ever been wishing to be. I've been working overtime like every day of the week. I've been studying in school, already got a degree. Trying to make it to a doctor, I've been working on my patience. I'm trying to make a living with multiple occupations. Coming out of the basement on the radio stations. I'm going face to face with all of my contemplations. I feel like God's gift and this is my celebration. I'm trying to lead the way for all the future generations. I don't want them calling on my phone. I've been on my way to the top, no ceiling. They leaving a message at the tone. Trying to get involved, but I really don't need it. I don't want them calling on my line. I know what they wanted and it's not no secret. I'ma tell them that I'm doing fine. Trying to get involved, but I really don't need it. I got old friends slowly turning into enemies. I got people in my life trying to block my energy, and I'm trying to keep my focus surrounded by Hennessy. People drinking every night, trying to fade their memories. I've been working on my mind, staying focused mentally. I've been watering my grass, trying to grow my money tree. Not reacting to the lies, I don't know the chemistry, but I know that everything will happen how it's meant to be. From a small town, trying to make it out to better living. No reminiscing on memories and shit I was missing. No politician, but they listen to the shit that I say. On my way to better days, I never seen a delay. I've been highly debated, I'm never jaded to the life. Not degraded by haters who busy wasting all their time. I've been murdering beats and now they be calling it a crime. Working while the sun down, waiting for my time to shine. Now they say I'm rapping about the same thing every time, but I'm always seeing people with their focus out of line. I've been sending the message until they get it, trying to let them know time is too expensive, I can't never let it go. I don't want them calling on my phone. I've been on my way to the top, no ceiling. They leaving a message at the tone. Trying to get involved, but I really don't need it. I don't want them calling on my line. I know what they wanted and it's not no secret. I'ma tell them that I'm doing fine. Trying to get involved, but I really don't need it. Everything bad to the times I miss. Roll around town hanging out of the whip. Nowadays life just feel like a mess. Sometimes wish they didn't know I exist. Feeling the pressure like are they impressed, or is all of this shit gonna come to an end? Save it or spend. So many questions I don't know the answer. It all just depends how I'm feeling when the day is starting. Sometimes good but the others darker. Check my phone to see what they talking. They got a lot to say but I beg your pardon. Losing hope when I don't see results. I came so far but I'm still not close to what I wanna be when the curtain is closed. My life not normal, I can't lose hope. They don't really know me like they think to solve it. She can hear the pain in my voice when I'm talking, yeah. I don't know what's gotten into me, I'm turning into my enemy. Whole lot of money that's sent to me, but nothing ever be helping me, cause I be struggling mentally, yeah. I did a lot, but it's not enough. Proving myself is the shit I love. The more that I get, then the more that I give. 100% that I put into this. Leaving the past and I'm making some room. I know that my blessings gonna be coming soon. I cannot ever go hide away, cause people depend on the shit I say. They don't really know me like they think they do. I've been through a lot of things they never knew, but everything I do is all part of the plan. Yeah, they hate it or they love it, they don't understand. I'm far from normal, I'm far from normal. They don't understand the shit that I just had to go through. Yeah, I'm far from normal, I'm far from normal. I've been doing everything that they all said I won't do. I put the team on my back, I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap, nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday, they think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off, waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Everyone making excuses, I've been busy making music. They just wanna see me fall off, know that I'm never gon' lose it. Got addicted to the chase now, people saying that I changed now. Know that I'm never gon' stand still, I'm treating the game like a race now. They really been carefully watching me, they treated me like I was calories, but really they can't get enough of me. They treated me like I'm a salary, they bringing me up in discussion, they wondering how do I do it so casually. I celebrate all of my victories, all of a sudden they all gonna be mad at me. Damn, I don't have time for concern, I just go live and I learn. Trust me, I waited my turn, living my dream in return. This is a given, it's earned. People been listening over the world, I've been making that money while I be asleep. I never ran to the money, but now all the money been too busy running to me. Ayy, I put the team on my back, I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap, nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday, they think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off, waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. I'm not doing this for the money, so don't misinterpret my last line. The weather ain't always been sunny, but I know that I'm gonna still shine. You never gon' make it till you got the power to go and develop a strong mind. Cause everything happens where you don't expect it, the journey ain't given a deadline. I'm going till I got a flat line, connecting with people like landline. I've been blowing up like a landmine, I put myself on like a combine. Knowing the way that they go and I'm ready for more, I don't wait on the sideline. I'm feeling like 2011 when Drizzy was dropping them hits like his headlines. I don't understand what I can't do, if I cut you off then I had to. I'm staying up late like it's fast food, the life of a rapper who in school. I don't wanna hear all the people who been trying to give me advice. If you haven't done it before, then don't give your opinion about what you think I should go do with my life. Ayy, I put the team on my back, I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap, nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday, they think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off, waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. I wanna be great, I never been average. Every day I'm living it lavish, one of a kind. I'm reaching the masses, they wanna race. I'm moving the fastest, get out my way. I'm too competitive, I'll never settle for anything less. I put my foot on the pedal, my foot on their neck, and I don't have no time to rest. I'm going Monday to Monday, I've been on the grind. Still on the journey, I'm taking my time. Come for the king, but they cut in the line. Nobody taking what's meant to be mine. I gotta go and put them in their place. Been on a roll like I got a race. Climbing my way to the top of the hill. Been at it so long, fell in love with the chase. I'ma refill like a reload. All grown up, I'm killing my ego. Beating the game, no cheat code. Been getting that bread like I'm Gambino. What they all do, not better than me though. Went from a kid to a CEO. Check my account and I count 6 zeros. Put in that work and I get what I'm owed, yeah. Step in the ring and I go undefeated. I still got that dog in me, I gotta feed it. They not on my level, they all be beneath it. It's been in my blood, but they be anemic the way that
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome! Welcome to Friday. God, I've been dying all week to say this. Yes! Yes! I feel like that kid in that meme who's like, oh, yes! It's Friday. I'm so excited to be here. So excited for Friday. I was talking to Sec IT guy in the green room. He's in my ear today. Beard's taking a well-needed day off. And I was talking to Sec IT guy, and I was like, this January has felt like everything has been operating at 9,000 miles an hour. 9,000 miles an hour. I mean, it's just been crazy all out for the last 3 weeks of this month, and I'm super excited. Like, this has been great. I'm excited to be here, as always. Welcome to Friday's Tea with a Hacker. It is excellent to see everybody. Hopefully your January is going awesome. Welcome to our Friday morning show. My name, as always, is Neal Bridges, and thank you for joining me here today. This is our Friday morning AMA stream where we sit down here after a long week of cybering and talk about all things cyber. This is our Friday morning AMA stream, also known as Ask Me Anything, where we answer all your questions across YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. Did I turn the X switch on? Am I streaming on X? I don't know. I didn't look. Oh yeah, I am kind of streaming on X. Whoopsie. And my folks over on X, it's good to see you too. I forgot about you guys over there. I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to really forget about you, but I forgot about you over there. Anyway, happy to see everybody. Reminder, this is our Friday morning AMA stream. Make sure you do drop your questions in the chat at any point in time. We will get them added to the queue. We've already got some great ones that have popped up in the queue as well. So glad to see those. Do got my nice little chai this morning. As you can tell, the caffeine's already starting to hit. Good time. Real quick, just a reminder for all the new folks. I love seeing the new folks in chat. Welcome to all the new folks here. Give a huge shout out, drop some bits, drop some claps for our good friends, the moderators in chat. While Brian may be taking the day off, we do still have a ton of moderators that are in chat. They do take the time out of their day to sit here and keep chat free of racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, and just generally overall toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance for that here on the stream. I don't actually control any of the moderator stuff, and so if you are put on a timeout or a ban, I ask that you take that up with the moderator team in the respective channel. Also, go ahead and hit that exclamation point Discord, drop into Discord. That way you can always chat with the moderator team or myself or your fellow cybersecurity folks who are there as well. I'm glad to see Discord back lively. It's been amazing to see Discord active again. I know that it's been a little slow with everything that's going on, and it's been coming back up here recently. The Friday night jam sessions have been back as well. And so you usually catch the team in their Friday nights in chatting with them. Glad to see that people are adding their goals to the stream, or adding their goals to the goals channel, and lots of people commenting on the career advice stuff. So it's really nice to see Discord active as well. Remember, you can always hop into Discord at any point in time and continue the conversation about anything we talk about here over there as well. Mike Bluesky dropping in on LinkedIn. reminded me of our book idea. Mike says, good morning, Neal Bridges. When will the book, How to Ruin a Great Drive in 3 Putts, be released? Asking for a friend. I had the privilege of playing a couple golf games with Mike when I was in Austin a couple months back when it was still really, really nice and warm. And that's how we came up with the book. We're gonna co-author a book on cybersecurity, product management, and their relation to the golf game. And we're gonna title it "How to Ruin a Great Drive in 3 Putts." Hopefully, my golfers out there in the world understand that. Fix it 42. Glad to see you in chat as well. Hopefully you're staying warm. We're getting some of your weather from Sweden over here on the East Coast, and it's really nasty. I wish you'd take it back. Wish Canada would take their weather back and leave us with the warm stuff here in the South. Moderators are not here, however, to stifle chat whatsoever. As I mentioned, this is our AMA stream. We do appreciate and love all things questions. Drop those questions in at any point in time in chat, and the moderators will grab them, add them to a lovely queue, and then push them up on screen as they see fit. Yes, Outcast, we took the snow dog off of the screen. I got enough snow with everything that's going out. Now we got Chill Monkey. We got Chill Monkey on screen. Funny note, for those who don't know, what I do is I usually scroll the music channels that are on the ones that broadcast live, because they usually got these nice little still images. So this is basically just YouTube, a YouTube music channel that I put on in the background. I turn the volume all the way down, and I just let the image kind of like hang up back here. So if you've got YouTube music channels that you think would make great imagery back here while we stream, shoot them to me in my DMs, and we'll get them added to the background, and we'll credit you with finding some good music. Or at least some good background stuff. I love it. I love it. Lots to talk about this week. Obviously, want to get to your questions. Go ahead and drop those in. We'll get them added to the queue. I want to talk to them. I want to hit a couple of topics, just generally speaking. Let's do some stream schedule stuff really fast, just to keep everybody up to date. We missed Sec Data Ops yesterday. Unfortunately, we couldn't secure the guests that we wanted to for Sec Data Ops yesterday, and so we had to end up canceling Sec Data Ops yesterday. I apologize for that. It was a last minute decision. However, next week is a busy week. We got 3 streams next week. And so this is a huge reminder to make sure you got notifications turned on. Make sure you're paying attention to social media channels so that you know when those streams go on. So Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to be doing a threat brief, right? So this is going to be our bi-weekly threat brief. Keep you updated on the latest and greatest threats that are happening in the cybersecurity space with my good friend Jason Miller, my co-host Jason Miller. So make sure you are on for Tuesday for that. Wednesday, we have the most amazing guests in the world. We have the most amazing guest in the world this week. I'm super excited for him. He's an old friend. I got reconnected to him here recently. Chris Pogue is an expert in digital forensics and incident response. We're going to be focusing really, really hard on the digital forensics side, but we're going to be talking about incident response as well. But on Wednesday's Old Guy Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? On Wednesday, for Old Guy Wednesday, we're going to have Chris Pogue. We're going to be talking exclusively about digital forensics and incident response. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for that. It's very appropriate to have him on Old Guy Wednesday. He shares my enthusiasm for life was different for us when we were coming up in cyber. And so we want to take all of that knowledge that we've got. We want to impart all the mistakes and all the errors that we've made in our cybersecurity career. We want to impart those upon you. And so I'm super excited to have his expertise and co-host with him on Wednesday. And then, of course, Friday, we've got Tea with a Hacker again next Friday. So it will be a triple stream week next week. Critically important that you keep those notifications on and ready to watch. When will we begin the questions? We do the questions throughout. I usually BS for a little while, let everybody, it's very... I very much still do some of the speakership type of stuff, right? We've got, we're streaming across 3 different platforms. I know Jerry's doing his stream a little bit this morning. Usually when his stream gets done, some people kind of come over here. And so I usually kind of chill for a little while, let everybody find their seat, let everybody mingle around and chat and talk to everybody before I jump right into the questions. I appreciate you saying that there's no rush, but it's very free-flowing here on Friday. It's very free-flowing. We just kind of chill. We just kind of hang out, kind of do our thing, and then we jump right into some questions. Yes, confirm the threat brief is Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Time. 11 a.m. Central Time. So do make sure you tune in for that. We did do the giveaway last Tuesday. I'm hoping that we will have some more giveaway stuff to give away in the future. I don't want to tip my hand too much on that, but I can tell you right now, the team is unequivocally making strides about rekindling our partnership with a lot of our training vendors so that we can bring that stuff back and be able to give it to you as part of the giveaways. Love it. I think that was it for the major announcements. I think the stream schedule was really the major announcement stuff that I wanted to hit. There's a couple questions in chat that I want to talk to. I'll save my thought here for that. There was a question, looks like over on or a statement over Ian over on LinkedIn says, "Morning Neal, celebrating getting my cybersecurity degree certificate through the door today. Nice. Got a degree but cannot type everything. That's okay. It's okay. Brian's not here to correct your typing. It's okay. Congratulations on your cybersecurity degree certificate. I may be cynical. I may be 100% cynical on degrees and things like that, but I will always celebrate with you whenever you do awesome stuff. And so congratulations. Way to go out there. What I think is super important about this stuff, right, is it's the degree. People oftentimes think this is a ladder rung to a job. And that's what I usually try to fight against from a mentality perspective, is looking at a degree program as a ladder rung to a job in cybersecurity. But there are a select few individuals. Who view degrees and certs and things like that as milestones for themselves. And I'll use myself and I'll use golf as an example, right? I'm not playing in any big leagues, right? When you think about like PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Tour, G Pro Tour, and then like the litany of mini tours, and then you've got like the tours that I'm playing in underneath that stuff, right? When you look at the hierarchy of things, right? When you look at the hierarchy of things, I'm playing at a super low level right now for golf. But for me to set a goal and then to do what I needed to do to achieve that goal isn't about, well, this is going to get me to the PGA Tour. It's about building a habit of saying, I set my mind to do this goal. I put in the requirements for me to achieve it. I executed on those requirements and I achieved that goal. Because that is the type of mentality you need to have to be successful in cyber, right? This is a long road. There is a lot to do on this road. And so it starts from good goal planning. Reminder, hop on over to Discord, participate in the goals channel. We're coming up to the end of January now. I'm going to start to ask some of you, how did your goals go in January? Did you get to accomplish some of those goals that you set forth in January, right? Because I think it's important that you have to set those goals for yourself. So I'll always celebrate, Ian, achievements like this, because I think it's awesome that you sat down, you made that goal for yourself, you executed on said goal, and you were successful. Good job. Let's give some good claps across chat for Ian on LinkedIn. Exactly, Cyberties. Fantastic comment from Cyberties, 100%. The work it takes to finish, in and of itself, everybody should be proud of. Whether you're doing a try hack, and again, don't presume. This is one of the things that I think it's natural for us as humans, but I do think that us in cyber, we're particularly vulnerable to this, right? It's natural for humans, but there's a character trait about those of us in cyber that strive for awesomeness and strive for excellence. And because of that, sometimes we see little accomplishments and think it doesn't matter. That's so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. And in reality, I want you to change that, right? Because every accomplishment, everything that you do takes so much work, no matter how big or small. I'm going through a small swing change right now, but it takes so much work to make that swing change a habit that when I get to master it, it's going to feel amazing. And so you should definitely celebrate all of those things. This is timely right here from Tails, right? Is the journey the goal, or is the goal completion the goal? I think this is a great question. When we talk about goals, right, there's obviously the old adage that says, right, like it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I think that there's part of that that's true, but I look at it slightly different, right? The goal for me is to make it to the PGA Tour. Your goal could be being a CISO, being a pen tester, getting your first cybersecurity job, right? Those could all be goals for you, right? The goal doesn't matter. The goal is unique to you. There are milestones that exist to that goal. Let's make sure that that's super clear, right? The goal might be to get my first job in cyber, or the goal might be to be $100,000 a year with bug bounties on HackerOne, right? Or the goal might be to be a CISO for a Fortune 100 company. Those are goals. There are milestones that happen along the way. My journey to CISO, when I made my journey to CISO, I knew that some of the milestones that I needed to have along the way were things like I needed to get more business experience. I needed to get more client-facing experience. I needed to get more, add the list of things that I needed to do to make myself marketable as a CISO. And so as a result of that, I made milestones along the way. Those milestones help you in enjoying the journey. Those little mini goals help you in enjoying that journey, right? So like last year, my goal for the tour that I was playing in was to win 2 events in the year, and I won 4, right? I celebrated that part of the journey, but I also celebrated those mini wins that I had as part of that tour, right? And so I think you have to enjoy the challenges that the journey puts forth to you as you make your way to the goal, but you should 1000% celebrate making it to the finish line. Like, you should be high-fiving everybody around you when you make it to that finish line, whatever that finish line looks like, right? And so I do think that it's about both. It's about looking out the window as you're going down that journey, but paying attention to that finish line and getting ready to high-five everybody around you when you cross into it. Right? Lots of good questions in chat already. We'll start with this one. I think this one's pretty awesome. How are North Koreans getting remote US jobs? This has been awesome to watch. Neal, how can you possibly say that? North Koreans getting US jobs? How is that awesome to watch? Let me say this about that before I dive into this. I have studied the art of cybersecurity since 1995. I didn't know what it was in 95 because it didn't really exist in the way that it does today, but I think that's the point, right? You have to be able to appreciate how adversaries are able to exploit the world around us to perpetuate their objectives. It's not about how are North Koreans getting remote US jobs. It is they have adopted to sanctions to foster their national defense. Right? And when you look at it in that lens, you're able to go, aha, this is how they're able to defeat defensive systems. And when you think about it like that, you can go, well, okay, if I was completely and totally sanctioned, wasn't able to get any type of foreign currency, nobody's going to buy my stuff, I can't buy anybody else's stuff because I'm on the OFAC list, but I need money to come in, how do I do it? Tails said it perfectly in chat. Social engineering goes brr, right? Fire up ye old social engineering tactics and figure out the best way to do that. In a world where remote work has been king since 2020, they just found a very interesting way to bypass the system when it came to getting into companies. We don't have to send malware. We don't have to crash special payloads. We ain't got to worry about sending phishing emails to compromise credentials. What if we just get a job in the company and steal their stuff from the inside? Right? How about we just steal their stuff from the inside? And so I think what you're looking at, like I think if you put on your cyber hat and you start to reverse engineer this, you start to see that this is just a massive social engineering campaign. That's what they've done. And they've socially engineered, software developments are huge, especially in a day of AI, right? For as much as people want to talk about, right, like, oh my God, AI is going to take all these jobs and everything like that, software engineering is still a fantastic place to be from a career perspective. And so there are still companies hiring hundreds, if not thousands of software engineers that are out there. Startups hire, I mean, listen, I love the startup ecosystem. I really, really do. Right? I absolutely love startup ecosystems, right? But startup ecosystems work very, very fast, right? They're about getting things out the door. They're about getting product to the market. They're about proving market value fit, all the things that are required to be successful in a capitalist world. And oftentimes, there are things that have to be sacrificed to make that successful. It happens. Like, anybody's ever seen that age-old adage, right? You got a triangle, right? You can have speed. What is it? You can have speed. You can have quality. I forget what the third one is. Somebody remind me of the third one, right? But they got that triangle, right? Where you can have speed, quality, maybe it was accuracy, right? Something like that. Speed, quality, and accuracy. Speed, quality, and accuracy, right? You can oftentimes at any point in time have two of the three of those, but you can't have all of them. Thank you. Cost. Cost is what it was. Speed, quality, and cost. You can oftentimes have two of them, but you rarely ever get to have all three. And that is very exaggerated in smaller companies. Right? Very, very exaggerated. In smaller companies. And so if you're looking to do targeting, why wouldn't you target smaller companies? This has been tried and true. I started a business in 2016, and one of the first sets of clientele that I wanted to target and to market to were SMBs, because they typically don't have and can't afford enterprise grade security. Right? So I think that's the easiest way to kind of explain the how, is that they're just using social engineering. And I know that there's like a lot of cynicism in the market right now, right? I think there's a lot of cynicism in the market about getting jobs, I don't discount that, right? Now is a terrible opportunity in the market when it comes to job hunting. But I think that like as a general premise, there's still opportunity for work out there. It may just be slightly more challenging than what it has been in the past. And it doesn't change the fact that it is still a TTP that is clearly working for hundreds, if not thousands, of North Korean hackers. Startups are on a shoestring budget, so something has to give, and most companies see security as a cost center. Absolutely. That's 100% it. Most people see security as a cost center. This is why I encourage everybody in our field, everybody in security, to focus on business, right? Pull the soapbox out, find the soapbox, somebody stick it underneath my desk, because I'm going to stand on it here in a second. I'm going to stand on the soapbox on business, right? And it's because of statements like this. You are 100% right. This statement is 100% right. Security is viewed as a cost center. A cost center is a business term that says that I have to spend money on you knowing that I will get no return on this investment. And because it's a cost center, because money leaves and never comes back into the business because of that function, the business mentality is that I need to keep that expense as minimal as possible for the business to succeed. Right? I need to keep that expense as minimal as possible for the business to succeed. And that's why we end up in the situation that we end up in now, right? There's a lot of one of the things that has been pretty consistent over the course of my career is that folks without business acumen think that the solution to every cybersecurity problem is to throw more people or technology at it. And they forget that there's three things that you should do to optimize, if I could speak this morning, optimize any operation. It's people, process, and technology. And they usually forget about the process because it's the least exciting. No, instead, what they want to do is they want to throw more tech at it, or they want to throw more people at it. Well, if you're a cost center and you throw more people at it and you throw more tech at it, you're just adding on to the cost center problem. Right? Cybersecurity is a crux in the enterprise because it is viewed as a cost center. Right? Now listen, I say that, and there's going to be a lot of offended people. Neal, how dare you say that? Cybersecurity does so much. Cybersecurity keeps the bad guys out. We have to have cybersecurity. Yes, that's the tactical. Those are you being good soldiers on the front line, wanting to go out and defend the organization. And I applaud you for it. Golf clap. Absolutely. You're not wrong. We have to defend enterprises and organizations. This isn't a knock against that. Right? What this is a knock against is that you think that the business wants to spend that money. And they don't. And so what you do is you think that the business is just being absolutely lame by not throwing money away at your problem. I want you to get business smart, people. I want you to get business smart, because the sooner you can have a conversation with somebody who puts a dollar figure on your job, the more successful you will be in cyber. Regardless of whether you're on offense or defense, whether you're doing pen testing, red teaming, bug bounties, hacking, cyber defense, SOC operations, incident response, threat hunting, forensics, the sooner you understand to talk to the person who only sees things in pennies and dollars, that's the sooner you're going to be successful. I said what I said. You can deny it, just like all of you denied that networking would help you get a job. You can deny that you need to know business. And everybody who listens to my advice and goes out and gets business experience, you guys are going to win. Lots of good questions popping up into chat. So many good ones. I don't know which ones to pick. Gosh. Let's do this one. There's some military talk here. Let's hop into some military speak here. What's required for a secret clearance, as I've seen a few jobs that are asking for it? Clearances are bunk. That's cynical Neal talking. Let me say this first and foremost. Let me approach the security clearance question from, if you're hearing my voice and you're already in a military service with a security clearance, I'm talking to you if you're in the military. The TAPS program, or the Transition Assistance Program, will tell you that your security clearance is so valuable. Please don't leave the military. Your security clearance is what's going to guarantee you a 6-figure job. The amount of times that I heard that trope out of ignorant, uninformed people in the military blows my effing mind. That is the biggest lie that the military or anybody in government ever tries to tell you. And I know this, having lived this post-military myself. I had a TSSCI, Special Access Program, done several polygraphs over my career. Right? And when I got out, I wanted to keep my security clearance. And so the companies that I interviewed with, that was one of my questions that I asked as part of my interview process, the companies I went with. And it absolutely confounded me how nobody cared, nobody wants to do it, nobody has the cage code to carry it, and nobody wants to waste the money on a clearance. And here's the reason why. You can't use anything that you get with a clearance in your non-clearanced job. Period, dot, full stop. I will run you through the mentality that a lot of folks have when it comes to their clearance. Like, oh my God, if I get to keep my TSSCI, I could go to the FBI building and I could get on JWIX and I could download some IOCs about some stuff that's happening and I could bring it back to my organization and I could put those as blocks into my SIM. Did you just admit to breaking your NDA and committing a felony? Well, no. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. What I meant was, if I knew that there was attacks going on, then I could bring maybe the TTPs back to my organization and we could build better defenses. Say that part again out loud for the security folks who are listening at OPM who want to validate your security clearance. Right? You see how crazy this thought is? You can't use anything that you learn on the high side out in the world. And the GS, the general schedule, the military equivalent of civilian service, will never, ever, ever pay as much as the outside does. Never pay as much as the outside does. So I just want to make sure that that's expressly clear when we talk about security clearances, right? That I think security clearances are incredibly bunk, right? Right? Incredibly bunk. Hey, not only IT, I see you in chat. You won the giveaway on Tuesday. I need you to DM me your stuff so I can get you your prizes to you. Right? Just wanted to say that since I saw you in chat, by the way. As you can tell, I'm cynical on security clearances. And this is another one of those personal preferences, right? There are folks there was a coachee that I had who absolutely, and this is fine. This is absolutely, I want to make sure that this is clear. This is absolutely fine. There are folks who generally want to work for the government. Right? And I can appreciate that. I absolutely do. I absolutely appreciate that. There are folks who are willing to commit themselves to civil service. It takes a certain type, and they don't care about money. They don't care about the difficulties. They want to commit themselves to that type of lifestyle. So I'm not picking on you whatsoever if that's what you want to do with your life. As a matter of fact, I highly encourage you, please go out and do it. National defense is one of the most courageous and self-serving, jobs that you can have. I oftentimes tell people I wouldn't go back in except for the mission. The mission was hands down phenomenal. I absolutely loved doing operations, loved doing cyber operations. So much fun. Right? So I don't say that to say you should never go into government. You should never go into contracting. I just want people to be informed. Again, for those who are new to the stream, one of the things that I like to do is I like to share my experiences and my opinions on it so that you have a maximum informed decision based on an opinionated point of view going into it. Right? And so for those jobs, they do require security clearance. And I saw somebody on LinkedIn that talked about, said so many jobs want a clearance now. No. That's a fallacy, right? Not so many jobs want a clearance. The only jobs that want a clearance are jobs that do cleared work. Period, full stop. Query's not like I'm not out there hiring for folks and putting on a query job posting must have security clearance. You know why? Because that's an expense that we have to maintain that doesn't net a benefit. You only need a clearance if you are doing cleared work. Right? So if you're not doing cleared work, or the company you're not going to work for isn't doing cleared work, you don't need a security clearance. Nobody's asking for a security clearance simply for the sake of a security clearance. Typically, let's get back to the question here a little bit. We talk about security clearance. Let's talk about security clearances really, really fast. There are several layers to the security clearance process, right? There's I'm going to caveat this by saying it's been a couple years since I've looked at it, so I'm hoping this is still accurate. It's not a system that changes very much. The lowest level clearance possible, right, is public trust. Public trust is usually reserved for, local municipal governments. Like think about your town hall, your governorships, right? State and local municipalities, mayors and things like that. Public trust. And that's oftentimes just a police background check. right? But they have to call it some government name, and so they usually call it a public trust. Your senators, your congressmen, when they first get in, right, or even at the state level, right, those are oftentimes very much public trust jobs, right? The next one above that, this is where we start to get into what a lot of people hear when it comes to security clearances, right? The secret level security clearances. The definition, if I recall correctly from my time in, of a secret level clearance, right, is that it could potentially have some damage to national security, or could potentially be moderately impactful if the tactics, techniques, or procedures for how that intelligence was gathered was compromised. So it's very, very medium level. As a matter of fact, almost everybody in the military comes in and applies and gets a secret clearance. For a secret clearance, they usually go back 5 years. This is why military is great. The military loves high school graduates because they don't have to go back 5 years. If you graduate high school and go in the military, you're almost guaranteed a secret clearance because you have no history whatsoever. When I went in, I was 24 when I went into the military. So I had to account for 6 years of living on the outside, which made my clearance a nightmare to get. And so secret is 5 years, right? Secret is 5 years. They usually, what they'll do is they'll ask for 5 years of financial records. They'll ask for 5 years of living addresses. They'll ask for 5 people, or not 5 people, but they'll ask for 5 years worth of people who can validate that you lived at those addresses, validate that you worked at those jobs. They will ask for girlfriends. They'll ask for wives. They'll ask for brothers and sisters. They'll ask for people who they can interview. And what they're looking to do is to determine that if they gave you classified information, basically, could you compromise it through blackmail? That, at the end of the day, that's what security clearances are really, really looking at, is if you have access to sensitive national security data, can somebody blackmail you? That's it. And then if they can blackmail you, what risk does that pose to the United States government? So here we are. We're right back to risk management again, right? If I can compromise you with a secret clearance and you've got access to secret information, what's the damage? What's the likely risk of that damage to the United States government? Right? We're out of coffee. Most people go their entire military career with a secret clearance, right? We're talking about people who work in, food service because they get deployed to a classified location to, provide, food service for a deployed forward operating base, right? We have folks who work in logistics, right? Who fill up, airlines and fill up gas trucks and things like that, who have secret clearances because they're deployed to secret locations, because they're servicing secret aircraft, because they're servicing, right, secret units in the military, right? Secret is the most popular, and I would argue the most broadest ranging security clearance that almost everybody in the military has. And so DOSCO, as you talked about in 2023, stat says 1.25 million people have secret clearance. Think about how many people exist in all of the armed services, and that's where a lot of those folks have a security clearance, is across those armed services, right? I say this cynically for those who have not been in the military, they give away secret security clearances like they're freaking candy. Almost everybody and their brother gets a secret clearance. Right? Almost everybody gets a secret clearance. Like, oh, hey, welcome to the military. Here's your secret clearance. Secret clearance is the candy that everybody gets for being in the military. It gets harder from there. And this is where you get into the TS, your top secrets. This is what you always hear folks talk about, right? Your top secret clearances. Your top secret clearances, top secret TS. So this is where things start to bifurcate just a little bit, right? Top secret. Yes, it's expensive to obtain as an individual. You cannot go into an office like a license and say, hey, I want to apply for a top secret. You have to have a sponsor and somebody has to pay for it. Most of the time, organizations have to have what's referred to as a cage code, and that's a GSA number that allocates that they've been approved and that they have a governmental need to know for security information. And that sponsor then sponsors you and has to pay for your security clearance to get it. So no, you can't obtain one as an individual, any of them. Top secret is deemed to be grave danger. They use that word very expressly in the definition of top secret. Grave danger to national security. Meaning that if whatever information was deemed top secret, if it got into the hands of our adversary, it could prove to be gravely dangerous for us. Give you an example of that. Chelsea Manning was one of the first to take a large trove of documents and give them over to WikiLeaks. Some of the stuff that was in those documents that were given to WikiLeaks were cables that talked about communication for a for the code name that we used for Chinese APT in the government, the Byzantine series. You can go look this up. I think this is pretty well documented now. The Byzantine series of threat actors was the name that we had given all the Chinese APT, right? You had Byzantine Hades, Byzantine, oh my God, I can't remember all the names, but various versions of Byzantine were how we differentiated different PLA groups. This has all been talked about in public. My NDA has expired. I'm not telling you anything that's going to get me in trouble, anything that you couldn't research on the internet. But what I could tell you, this is stuff that isn't talked about, is our response when that happened as a cyber team, right? When those cables got out, now the Chinese knew that we had names and that they were associated with their specific PLA divisions. That association right there was enough for them to know which machines they needed to go out to look for our implants and our backdoors on them, and we lost access. The amount of overnights that the agency had to pull to go and try to rescue tens of thousands of remote access points to maintain access to that network was insane. Right? That's what we talk about when we talk about grave danger to national security. That's the definition of top secret, right? Grave danger to national security. Right? That to get a top secret security clearance is a 10-year background investigation. And I tell you what, 10 years is a lot of your life where you have to have people who will tell the government that you are the most trustworthy individual in the entire world. I had some blips in my TS background investigation. I don't mind sharing this. This was a long time ago. This was 2003. This was 2003 when this happened. I had some blips in my TS. Did we really? Thank you. Oh my fucking God. Thank you all so much. We're breaking 100 concurrent viewers on Twitch. First time in 2 years that we've broken 100. Oh, my heart goes out to all of you. Thank you so very much for tuning. Thank you so very much for tuning in, everybody on Twitch. It's so good to see those. Oh, thank you so very much. I love it. Look at all the first timers. I love it. Welcome to all the first timers. Welcome to Cyber Insecurity. I'm a former NSA hacker, worked for the government for 10 years. Obviously, we're talking about cybersecurity, offensive hacking, cybersecurity, whatnot. Welcome to everybody who tuned in from their recommended page. We're so glad to have you. Feel free to drop any questions if you hear anything interesting that we're talking about. We're showing up on the recommended page. Wow, that's awesome. I love it. Welcome in, everybody. Have a seat. We're streaming live across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. Glad to see the numbers up. So glad to see you. So anyway, self-admittedly, like I had some struggles getting my TS. Like I mean, there was a reason. Like I told this story before. There was a reason. By the way, we do have a Discord. Make sure you do hop into Discord if you find this conversation interesting. For those folks who are joining in, hop on over to Discord and continue the conversation over there. I think I told you guys one of the biggest reasons why I got in the military was because I'd been a part of a bunch of startups in the early 2000s that had all failed. And so as a result of that, I had some financial issues, right? I mean, I was very, very close to declaring bankruptcy at one point in time. It was pretty rough for me. And so I had some hiccups on my TS, and I can tell you that they put, like, I talk about secret, and they give secret clearances away like candy. TS, you're under a microscope. TS, you are utterly under a microscope for everything. I had credit card bills that were 60, 90 days past due in 2003, and they wanted to know why, when I was going to pay them off, what I had bought with those credit cards. They wanted to know everything because, again, it gets back to they're trying to figure out if you're a risk to national security. I had an ex-girlfriend that I put on the list of people that they could talk to validate who I was. And I found out how bitter this ex-girlfriend was when the government went to go ask her if I was trustworthy. And you know when I found out about it? When that OPM agent brought me into a SCIF, or a classified information facility, a windowless room, sat down with a file folder this big, opened it right up to the page that had the interview that they had done with this ex-girlfriend, and they asked me very specific questions about things that she had said about me. That's how I found out she was bitter. And it delayed my security clearance while they tried to figure out whether to believe an ex-girlfriend or me on my security clearance paperwork. So TS is no joke. TS is zero joke just to even get through the door of a TS security clearance. And then it goes up from there. You oftentimes hear TS paired with a /SCI, which stands for sensitive compartmented information. SCI, TS-SCI. So that's top secret, but it's got an additional nomiker on it for SCI, meaning it is sensitive compartmented information. Means that you have to be read into specific programs because it's compartmentalized to understand the information that's in there. Most of the time, that's because, most of the time when you see TS and SCI together, it's because it's intelligence related. It was either gathered from the NSA. So in the NSA, there's a lot of, SIGINT, S-I-G-I-N-T, signals intelligence. In the CIA, there's HUMINT, S-U-M-I-N-T, human intelligence, right? There's lots of different intelligence types of programs that you can be read into, right? And so there's different types of intelligence programs that you can be read into. That's usually what creates the SCI part of this, right? And then it goes up from there. There's another level on top of this. This is one of the ones that sometimes you hear people talk about, and this is special access programs, or SAP, right? Now, the SAP stuff, that's the ninjas in black helicopters will come and kidnap you and put you into a room in Guantanamo, right? If you disclose the type of stuff. SAP programs, special access programs, are like the tip of the tip of the tip of the programs that exist out there, right? And this is where you get into polygraphs, and there's usually two types of polygraphs. There's full scope polys, and then there's lifestyle polys, and each of those. So again, you can see like the hierarchy of getting a clearance. And this is why when we're talking about security clearances and we're talking about the cost of maintenance, each of these things is a line item that a company has to decide, are they getting benefit out of to maintain your security clearance? Right? Right? And so that's why you don't get to see a lot of companies on the outside maintaining security clearances. That's why you don't see a lot of companies who aren't doing cleared work asking for security clearances, all that stuff, right? So just FYI, you know, getting secrets pretty easy, getting past there, not so easy, arguably pretty challenging. Bro, can we get the JFK files now? Work your magic. I hope so. We've had discussions about Snowden, Assange on this show before. We're not going to get political, just FYI. We keep chat free of all political type conversations. This is a non-political stream. I'll just give this warning. Right now we don't do politics in this channel. We talk about things as they relate. We'll talk about things that are of delicate nature as they relate to cybersecurity. Right? And so what I'll say is, I do think that we have a tendency to overclassify. That is not an uncommon occurrence in the government, is to overclassify stuff. Yeah. That's probably the best way to phrase that. The government has a tendency to vastly overclassify stuff. Love it. Great questions. Oh, there's one here right here, right? So danger adjacent. What do you think of removing the Salt Typhoon investigation? So again, we don't get political in this channel, but I know that everybody's seen that there's been some recent executive orders that have talked about defunding a few government programs around DHS and CISA and things like that. And there's been some headlines that have floated around. This is exactly what we talk about, right? We're not going to talk about politics. We're not here to talk about politics, right? But we will talk about the implications of certain things when it comes to the national defense security posture. Right? I can tell you that a headline that talks about defunding a program that is investigating Salt Typhoon is not the only thing that is happening against Salt Typhoon. So I'll go back to my Byzantine series, right? When I talked about the Byzantine stuff that I was involved in when I was at the agency. The reason that it's named Salt Typhoon, or the reason that it was named Byzantine at the time, was because that was a name that could be given regardless of the organization, right? So whether it was NSA, whether it was CIA, whether it was DHI or DHS, whether it was DIA, God, all the acronyms are fudging in my mouth, right? All those agencies knew that they could use that name to perform their respective operations. So first and foremost, Salt Typhoon is not just being handled by one entity inside the government, right? Every one of these entities has their own strategic objectives that are handed down from the commander-in-chief, right? So we'll use CIA and NSA. We could probably use DHS, FBI. We probably use a lot of those all together, right? So NSA, we'll keep it really simple, right? NSA is predominantly focused on the art of intelligence gathering outside the United States. Predominantly as it pertains to signals, right? Satellite dishes, telephone wires, underground sea cables, right? Electronics emissions, signals intelligence is the NSA's primary driver, right? They don't have a congressional mandate or a constitutional mandate to work internally to the U.S., hence the whole FISA thing that happened. Their predominant responsibility is external to the U.S. CIA has a counterintelligence directive handed down from the commander-in-chief, which means that their objective is to counter other folks' ability to gather intelligence on the United States, right? DHS is the Department of Homeland Security. Their goal and role is to defend the homeland against a large amount of physical-based activities. FBI is a Department of Justice. They have a mandate to enforce the laws. You kind of see what I'm getting at, right? All these different agencies are tasked with different responsibilities inside the United States. And so while you may have seen a headline that talked about certain funding around DHS as it pertained to Salt Typhoon, that does not mean that the NSA isn't still spying on Salt Typhoon, or that the CIA still isn't trying to get human resources from Salt Typhoon, right? Or that the FBI isn't still trying to prosecute justice against Salt Typhoon, right? And so I think I encourage everybody to be as informed as possible about world events. Go watch the news, as painful as it is. Go read X, go read articles. Be as informed as possible on the news. I think that is critically important in our cyber career field. But I think what you're seeing around Salt Typhoon is only a microscopic sub-effect of what every other organization that exists out there. I would almost bet you a golf trip at a really nice resort somewhere that NSA, CIA, DOJ have not given up on investigating Salt Typhoon at all whatsoever. Real quick, not cyber related, but I know that ads are annoying. Let me just reiterate, the mod team and I have sat down and set ads to an absolute minimum. And I'll give you an example of that. We intentionally, so we do a pre-roll. We do a pre-stream pre-roll of anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes on every stream. Here's a little secret, inside secret to streaming. We do that, and we tell Twitch to run ads during that pre-roll. Because if we do that at the beginning, when that 10-minute countdown is happening to the stream, they turn pre-rolls off for 60 minutes. Which is why some of you got hit with ads just a minute ago. Because that's how we've turned ads off. We do not push ads on this stream. We do not. But Twitch doesn't give us the option to completely turn ads off. I'll gladly share with you the 37 cents in ad revenue that this channel makes. Right? And I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking on you at all. This is transparency. This is what this channel is about. This channel is about transparency, right? But I know it's annoying. I absolutely know it's annoying. And I just want you to understand, we as a team do not support it. We as a team would turn it off if Twitch allowed us to. If YouTube allowed us to. We absolutely would. We agree with you. Absolutely. What Sec IT guy I said. We agree with you. I just want you all to understand, the team constantly monitors the ad situation, and we go to great lengths to tune the ads in your favor, not my favor. right? We agree with you, hands down. And so from the bottom of my heart, I apologize that we have almost no control over that, but we have done everything that we could to limit that. Like, you won't, like, I'm looking at my counter right now. You just got ads. You shouldn't get ads for another 52 minutes. Right? I don't care about ad revenue. I don't do this channel for money. I don't stream for money. I have a very well-paying job. I'm not worried about it. Right? So I don't care about the money. I would turn them off completely if I could. I'm just here chatting with you guys because I love it. Right? Now, with that being said, we do also have it turned on that if you do subscribe, you get ad-free. And I'll let you know right now, we have got somebody on the team who takes all of our revenue from the channel, turns right back around, and we're starting the stockpile of giveaways up again. And we're going to take whatever money this channel earns, turn it right back around. We're going to buy free training, and we're going to go back to doing weekly giveaways. That's my promise to you. We will make giveaways awesome again. We will make giveaways awesome again. That's my promise to you. We got tons of stuff to give away. The UK government, so Ian, again, over on LinkedIn, says the UK government are looking at the mandatory reporting of all ransomware attacks. Do you see this as good or bad move? Generally speaking, I think it's good. Right? Generally, like, part of the problem boils down to the fact that companies get hit with ransomware and they're not being held accountable for it. But that goes back to, it's not in their business best interest to admit that they're failing on cybersecurity controls. Right? Because you got to think about that. If you get hit with ransomware and you say, hey guys, we're going to be down for a couple days, all of our servers got hit with ransomware, you're instantly telling the public that you've probably told the public already, hey, our servers are good. Our servers are patched. Like your data is safe with us. And now they're admitting otherwise. And so I do think, and the United States did something similar. The United States last year, somebody keep me honest, passed a law. Well, I shouldn't say passed a law. I don't think it went through Congress. I think the SEC mandated that if you are a publicly traded company, you must report on your 10K any material cyber incident. Now, material cyber incidents are obviously still left to the mental gymnastics of the lawyers that exist out there, but at least it was a step in the right direction. Funny experiment. This has already been done. This is not financial advice. I'm not about to give you financial advice. I want to make this expressly clear so the SEC doesn't come after me. I'm not giving you financial advice. But you could go out there, you could scrape the Edgar site and get all the 10Ks and write a script to look for any that have reported material cyber incidents and short their stocks. Because it is a statistical fact that most companies see a dip in their stock price when they report a material cybersecurity incident. It's also statistically fact that they return to almost the exact same levels within 12 months time period. Jeff and I have a running bet about Vans. Vans was one of the first companies that reported on their 10K. I got to go back and check my numbers with Jeff, but I think I'm winning that bet. I thought I was going to lose for a while there. They went almost 8 months before they returned back to normal stock price. But Vans reported a compromise. We saw the stock price dip, and it's almost back to normal now. So if you're looking to take some risk, some personal risk, I'm not advising it. Do your own research, yada, 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 all the things. I'm not getting paid for this advice, but it is statistically proven that stocks dip after a material cybersecurity incident. But yeah, the SEC has mandated that if you're a publicly traded company, I think it's 30 days that they set that to, right? 30 days that they set that to, you must report a material cybersecurity incident. And there's some fun reading to go do that. Right? Most of those incidents probably won't ever make the light of day, regrettably. In terms of like the Target breach did. But they're still fun to look at. Still super, super, super fun to look at. BB over on YouTube says, thoughts on the TikTok ban? Do you think it's actually a national security threat? Is Meta, Instagram, and Facebook not doing the same thing of allegedly collecting user data? I don't. I do not think that TikTok is a national security threat. Fight me on it. Flame me in chat. I don't care. Drop your flames in chat. I disagree with it completely. I want you to understand something. When OPM got hacked in the 2000s, all of my security clearance data is in the hands of China. I make no qualms that my entire life in existence is in the hands of China. I have a Chinese visa in my passport that I will unfortunately never be able to use because I am absolutely sure that China would want to have a conversation with me when I fly into the country. I say all that to say, like, social media has always been a threat to privacy. Period, dot, full statement. Every social media platform, even X, like I love what X has become now versus what it was before. X is still a threat to privacy. I believe that wholeheartedly. Again, we're not political, so I'm not going to get into politics of it. But I oftentimes encourage our followers to focus on military aspects of cybersecurity, right? I try to teach that in the things that I teach. I try to teach, thoughtful strategy to task. Thoughtful strategy to task. Right? And in the strategy to task conversation, the U.S.'s counterintelligence strategy is to prevent psychological warfare against the populace. So, when we talk about it in that light, right? When we talk about it in that light, what you're seeing is you're seeing a fear of the inability to control the possible risk. So again, we bring everything back to cyber. We keep the politics out of it. We bring everything back to risk. We're seeing a risk that the U.S. cannot counter the potential for psychological warfare against its people. That doesn't make it a cyber threat. It makes it a psychological warfare threat. Right? I love the way this is phrased. Thank you for phrasing it this way, Igmati. Would it be fair to say a ByteDance-owned social media platform is a security risk? I think that it's fair to say that a non-US, again, let's take ByteDance completely out of it, right? I think that ByteDance is getting picked on because of its affiliation. Right or wrong is not my place to say. But if I were to go back to military strategy, what I would say is foreign-owned platforms that distribute messaging content. Hear me when I say this. Foreign-owned platforms that distribute messaging content. When you think about that, does anybody know what WeChat is? Anybody know what WeChat is? WeChat is a foreign-owned messaging platform that millions of Americans are on. Millions of Americans are on. So I think foreign-owned messaging apps represent a psychological warfare risk to the national security. I'll say that broadly. I think all social media apps are privacy risk, and I think, yes, all social media apps are innately meant to be manipulative, right? They're designed to hit you in your dopamine levels. They're designed to keep you addicted. There are scientists, I'll tell you this from the military, so when I left Germany to come back to the States, I went to an information warfare squadron. Right? I went to an information warfare squadron. And I learned a ton. About what it takes to conduct psychological warfare in the grand scheme of warfare as the United States conducts it, right? And it is amazing. It was amazing to me to watch the amount of money that intelligence agencies put into information warfare. This is a fantastic topic. This is very adjacent to cyber. You should all go out and research this. If you're not familiar with it, you should go research information warfare. This has a very tangential line to to social engineering. Social engineering is part of psychological warfare. Information warfare, information operations. And so when you think about how much money gets put into figuring out how the mind works, you can create something that's highly addictive. And it's highly addictive because it gives folks a sense of pleasure from participating in the activity. Right? And so that's the amount of money that these companies have to put into social media is insane. Speaking of which, this is a question I did see. I wanted to bring this one up. You know, what kinds of job titles have you held in the past? I'm a longtime follower, but I haven't been around in ages and just rediscovered you. Thank you very much for rediscovering us. Welcome back. Job titles I've held in the past, man. So obviously, before I was in the military, I was a huge nerd. I've built help desk. I built one of the first help desk that I thought of in the digital age for a startup in early 2000s. So I, like most of you, I started out in help desk as well. Just started out, early on in the help desk. 2003, I went into the military, and my job title, if you will, was network warfare operator. What that meant is that just like any other military job, they can pretty much task you to do anything. I got super lucky and I got to do a ton of offensive operations for the military, which would be akin to your pen testing, your offensive hacking. I was actually a nation state attacker. I've been into adversary computers, helped build a continuity of operations center, for 2 different offensive security entities in the military. I built the Air Force's first functional training unit for offensive hacking. I trained what ultimately would end up being NSA hackers. I built a threat hunting program for the military to teach blue teamers how to hunt for state-sponsored adversaries in the network based on the learnings that I had from basically doing counter adversary work on the NSA. I came out, I built a red team for a large financial organization. So, leader of a pen test organization, leader of a red team organization. I then went on to an MSSP and helped build a pen testing practice, and then ultimately translated that from a pen testing practice into a threat hunting practice for an MSSP. That was like a 5 million ARR business that I helped the president build. There I worked as a consultant for a big four, where I advised Fortune 100 companies on red teaming, pen testing, incident response, threat management, threat hunting, threat intelligence, things like that. I've advised some of the largest Fortune 100 and bigger companies in the United States of America. From there, I went to build the first ever security team for a 137-year-old Fortune 50 company that does life sciences. Then I went on to another manufacturing company and helped build a security organization post WannaCry, because one of their manufacturing facilities had gotten taken offline for WannaCry. And so they'd asked me to come in and basically help rebuild that from scratch post WannaCry. And then I've done a bunch of startups and, whatnot. Now I'm the CISO at Query, where I'm basically doing CISO to startup life, and I absolutely love it. I've done other adjacent stuff, obviously, on the side. I was a SANS instructor for the SANS Institute for 5 years, taught alongside the greatest like Ed Scotus, Bryce Galbraith, Shackelford, Eric Cole, John Strand, like you name it. I've taught with those guys as well for 5 years. I've run my own business since like 2016, where I've done independent consulting on the side, and we've been streaming here on Twitch and YouTube and whatnot since 2020, since the height of the pandemic. So lots of stuff on the side. I still do advisory. I sit on a lot of advisory boards for a lot of companies now. I talk to CISOs and security practitioners, not just here inside of Twitch, but in the community at large all the time. And so that's why I'm sitting here sharing all of this with you, is because of the experience and the vast amount of opportunity that I've been blessed with over the course of my career. And I just want to, like, my ethos here is like, I've done all this stuff. I shouldn't keep all this knowledge to myself, right? I very much freely, openly, and willing want to share this with anybody and everybody that's out there and help more and more people. That's why we're streaming on Twitch, right? We absolutely love the opportunity to stream on Twitch. We love talking to folks who are coming up in this career field who are interested in it. That's why we bring experts like Chris Pogue, who's going to be on the stream next Wednesday, doing digital forensics and incident response. We're going to bring him on stream so that you can get another 20-plus year veteran in this space who's also done government work and been very, very successful at it, to kind of talk about some of the other aspects of cybersecurity as well. You name it, I've probably done it. I have 500 friends who have done it. Got an opinion on it, right? We've helped hundreds of people in this community get jobs in this space. I'm proud of everybody who has taken my advice and used it to get jobs in this space. That's what we want, is we want to try to make you successful. And so I want to thank everybody who's always been here through the good and the bad. I know we had some rough roads. Getting diagnosed with cancer was, I think, something that none of us expected. Take this opportunity while we're talking about our past to thank my mod team, Sec IT guy, BeardSec, Frazier, Josh, BSec, right? Thank my mod team for being the solid foundation I needed to get through cancer. It was awesome. Yeah, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I truly do appreciate it. Cyber Ties took me nearly 4 years to get over 20,000 hacked planets. That's right. Don't everybody, like, the thing that everybody has slept on is the hacked planets. Does anybody know that you can use hacked planets to book a mentoring session with me? I'm not sure if you know that. You can use hacked planets to book a mentoring session with me. Started watching your content on YouTube in high school. Wow. While I was in the hospital sick as a dog. This was when you rocked the yellow shades. Yeah, I remember those. Now I'm a junior in college. Started to put my foot on the gas 2 years ago with your advice. 1,000 LinkedIn connections, third internship coming up, and trying to get better each day. I appreciate the inspiration over the years. This is what I'm talking about, folks. Love it. We're here for the long haul. We're here for the long haul to help you be successful. I love success stories like this. Keep the success stories coming. Yes, if you're on Twitch, if you look down in the lower left-hand side where the little text box is, you'll see this like little planet next to the bits. If you tune into the stream on Twitch, we can give you channel points. If you chat inside of chat, you get channel points. If you subscribe, you get channel points. If you donate, you get channel points. If you do bits, you get channel points. All those channel points are ways that Twitch gives me to reward you for being here. And so to give you something back for being here, if you collect enough channel points, as a matter of fact, CyberTies, I think you have enough channel points, you can turn those in for a mentoring session with me. That's my give back to you. We're always trying to give back on this channel, and I truly appreciate everybody who's here. I wish I had something like that on YouTube and LinkedIn. I'm sorry that I don't. Unfortunately, those systems don't give me a thing to do on that. I wish that they did, but they don't. Are you familiar with CPTS? Yes. See, easy questions. There's a follow-on to that one. Feel free to drop it into chat. I'm not sure if there was an implied follow-up to that, but the answer to your question is yes. Persis, sorry YouTube, I'm going to Twitch. Hey, you wouldn't be the only one. There's a lot of folks who do that. Oh, he did do it. He did redeem. Did he redeem them? He did 3 minutes ago. Mentoring session with Neal. CyberTies. Congratulations on your mentoring session. Reach out to me on Discord in a DM, and we'll coordinate schedules, and I'll get you your mentoring session. Congratulations on that. Congratulations. You too can have a free mentoring session with me. Unfortunately, it's on Twitch. You guys are the best. You guys are going to make me cry on stream. Best cyber community out there. One of the best things to ever happen was stumbling upon the Pew Pew map. I do want to bring back the Pew Pew map. It is on my radar to bring the Pew Pew map back. I do miss the Pew Pew map. MPBTX? MOTX? MOTORX? Do you think AI will displace pen testers? I do not. I do not think AI will replace pen testers. I don't think AI will replace anybody. I do not think AI will replace anybody. Want to make sure that that's quiet. So, did Neal say something? Yeah, Neal said AI will not replace anybody. Even some of this, like, bless Mark Zuckerberg's heart, he was on Joe Rogan's show and thinks that he's going to replace all his mid-tier engineers with AI. Probably the most tone-deaf thing I've ever heard an individual say in their entire life. I think AI will be amazing. Let me say that. I think AI currently is and will be an amazing thing in our future. So you hear that. I'm going to say another thing too. Listen carefully. I think anytime you can automate the simple stuff, the better you will be at your job. So when we talk about AI and cyber as a whole, when we talk about AI specifically in the pen testing stuff, and you think about pen testers, right? There's a gap that exists between those who are coming up in the pen testing arena. So for my new folks who saw me on the recommended page who may not know a whole lot about cyber, when we talk about pen testing, the technical definition of pen testing, right? The technical definition of pen testing is to simulate an adversary's attack on a company through cyber means. That definition has gotten bastardized over the years. Make no mistake about it. And some people have left that definition to the sideline, but that is the technical definition of pen testing, right? Is to simulate the adversary's attack on a network. Well, the first things that every adversary does is some form of reconnaissance. Some form of reconnaissance. Let's think about what reconnaissance means in the cyber world, right? Nmap scans, burp suite scans, SQL map scans, right? A bunch of scanning, right? Maybe even some, maybe you do some OSINT stuff, right? Maybe you go run some Altigo stuff out there, right? Whatever the case is, right? It's a ton of OSINT stuff. Be really, really honest with yourselves. You can tell I'm being serious because I leaned in so I could get really, really close and look you in the eye when I say this. Most of you can't honestly admit to yourselves that the act of running scans does not require any art of pen testing, does not require any special skill. That's why they call it script kiddie activity, even though we don't use this term around here. The art of running scans doesn't really exist. Scanning, that's why you have vulnerability management systems. That's why you have adversaries who run scripts to scour the internet looking for SSH, login consoles that have default creds on them. Because scanning isn't advanced. Right? So if we can all at least admit to that for a second, that there's nothing advanced about the reconnaissance phase. There's no art of the reconnaissance phase. Once we can accept that, you can then start to accept that that is a fantastic place for you to start trimming through automation so that you can be a more effective, efficient, and skilled tester. Once you admit that, then you realize that AI and automation do have a place in our cybersecurity world to make you better. When I got out of the Air Force and I did my first pen testing job for the bank, it's a large bank. It was one of the largest. It was one of the top 3 in the United States of America. Right? We had 400 business units that we were required to test. When I sat down personally, I personally sat down and did the schedule for a team of 15 to do network, web, and mobile testing for the entire internal company. We could only hit 10% of the entire organization with a team of 15 through manual testing in a 1-year time period. And that was at the current company stage. They were obviously going to continue to grow as a company and continue to do acquisitions. There was no way that my team of 15 was going to be able to test the entire banking infrastructure. Period, dot, full stop. And back to our conversation that we had at the beginning, do you think that I was going to be successful to go to the CISO and say, I need more people? Well, how many people do you need? Well, technically, based on this, I need 5,000 people to help me pen test the entire organization. It wasn't going to happen, was it? It was statistically unlikely for me to get that approved. Right? That's an example where there are opportunities for automation and AI to help make pen testers' lives better. Most of you are scared of the AI conversation because you're afraid that it's going to take you out of a job before you ever get there. Fear, listen to this. This is another one of those like prophetic quote times, right? Fear has killed more dreams than failure ever will. Quote it. If you are afraid of AI taking your job, you're afraid to fail. You're afraid to get out there. You're afraid to be awesome, and you're afraid to use it to your advantage. Callie in chat, I see you won't let a good opportunity to drop some cynicism in chat stifle your entrance. It's good to see you, buddy. It's good to see you. So with that being said, CyberTie says, what do you think of the Stargate $500 billion project? I mean, listen, I think anything that helps, I think innovation is key. And everybody here should be. I think, like, if you're in cyber, if you're in technology, you should not be afraid of innovation. Let me tell you what I think separates, and this is Neal's personal opinion. I'm willing to accept that, take it for what it is. If you're in technology, if you're in cyber, and you don't embrace innovation, how can you ever expect to be a good pen tester, to be a good blue teamer, or to be a good GRC person, or to be a good CISO? And I'll tell you why. The business is going to do it without you. That's the answer. The business is going to do it without you. And so if you're anti-innovation and you're anti-advancement and you immediately walk into every room and you poo-poo on the latest thing that's happening, the business will not see a need for you. They will not respect your opinions. They will not respect your warnings. They will not respect your advice. And they sure as hell won't respect your ability to manage the risk. Remember, our role in cyber, blue team, red team, whatever, is to enable the business to take risk. Enable the business to take risk. We've had Matt on this stream before. I love Matt. He's a huge friend of mine, right? I love working for him. We have this conversation frequently. It is his job as CEO of Query to take the business risk, and it is my job to advise him of the cyber risk. But at the end of the day, it is my job also that when he makes a business risk decision, that I have to go and enable it. And so, yes, when AI makes its way into the world, the longer you sit on the sidelines and you poo-poo on it and you don't understand it and you don't learn it, the further behind you become. And that's not the industry's fault. That's not NIST's fault. That's not SANS's fault. That's not TriHackMe's fault. That's not my fault. That is your fault. Right? So I say all that to say, embrace it, figure out how to break it, figure out how to protect it, be smart in it. How would you technically review an organization's network to assess whether correct ZTNA, Zero Trust Network Principles, are implemented? ZTNA, Zero Trust Network Principles. All right, but broad question. I'd like to see your approach to this. Well, I think, so one of the problems that I have fundamentally with Zero Trust is that it's a fantastic white paper, very fantastic collegiate white paper that very few people implement to the intent of the white paper. Right? And so what I would say is, first and foremost, right, decide how the organization has chosen to implement Zero Trust. One of the problems that I think when people are cynical on Zero Trust, it's one of two reasons. They either think that the marketing has defined Zero Trust, when in reality, marketing is just marketing. It does what marketing's supposed to do. It's to separate you from your money, right? Or they have an expectation that every organization will adhere to the exact collegiate paper on Zero Trust and get disappointed when it doesn't adhere to that. And so the first thing that I would encourage you to do is to baseline your own expectations. And when you ask an organization, how did you interpret Zero Trust? That gives you the baseline understanding that you need to figure out how to assess it. Okay? And the first thing I would start with would be a gap assessment. You said you do this. This is actually what you do, and this is what the paper says you should do. And this works with NIST. This works with ISO. This works with PCI DSS. This works with all of the standards that exist out there. Just start with a simple gap assessment. You said you do this. This is what you actually do, and this is what the standard says you're supposed to do. That right there, that's your assessment. I don't think Zero Trust, be careful with Zero Trust. It's great in theory, terrible in practice, because most people implement it wrong. We're coming up 10 after 10 this morning. We'll answer some questions for about 20 more minutes. Last chance to get some questions in for the next 20 minutes. We're going to try to pound through some questions super fast. I'll try to limit the soapboxes as much as possible. No promises. You know how it is in the morning. I get fired up. I get on some soapboxes. Last chance to get those questions in. We're going to try to pound through them super fast. I want to give everybody a huge shout out. Everybody who's been hanging out. I absolutely love hanging out with you all on Friday. Don't forget, next week is a triple stream week. Next week is a triple stream week. We have our threat brief on Tuesday. We have Chris Pogue, Digital Forensics and Incident Response on Old Guy Wednesday. Old Guy Wednesday. I think the Wednesday's implied in the name. You know what I'm saying. And then, of course, we're going to wrap it up on Friday, right back here with Tea with a Hacker. Right back here with Tea with a Hacker. What vulnerabilities to look for in Web 3? First and foremost, this is another one of those. This is another one of those where most people in cyber have poo-pooed on Web 3. And it absolutely floors me how or why you all poo-poo on Web 3. Because you let the outside world influence you about technology. You let ignorant people who go to social media and spew manipulative stuff dissuade you from technology. Zyphiro in chat with the most appropriate question. What is Web 3? We'll see if this triggers a couple people. Crypto. Blockchain. That's Web 3. Right? Screw crypto, bunch of scammers. That's how all the hackers get their money. Blah, 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 blah. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? Right? That's what I'm talking about. As soon as I say Web3, you're like, what's Web3, man? That sounds pretty cool. And then I say crypto, and you're like, oh, man, F that space, man. Why am I even thinking about that space? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? There is a lot of really great technological things that could, I'm not saying will, I'm not saying unequivocally, I'm not saying that they're the next future, but that is technology and innovation that immediately gets poo-pooed on because people choose the short-form media research option versus understanding the technology. Right? Most of the vulnerabilities, and this is going to floor you. I'll use Ethereum and Solidity as an example. So Ethereum was the first smart contract crypto projects out there. Right? Smart contracts allow you to programmatically write commands on the blockchain to be executed with the benefits of blockchain. So with that being said, the biggest vulnerabilities, almost everybody who does, and believe it or not, I saw somebody in chat ask about niche areas for pen testing. Web3 pen testing is a thing. All of you out there who have shit on Web3 and blockchain because it's associated with crypto bros have neglected a niche area where there is high demand and practically zero talent. Web3 pen testing, blockchain pen testing, and it starts with understanding Solidity and becoming smart on what it means to program on the blockchain. And so if you're looking for vulnerabilities in Web3, go to a lot of the Solidity projects that are writing smart contracts because there's things like validation errors, typical OWASP top 10, right? There's authentication errors, there's validation errors, there's multi-sig errors, there are, spoofing of wallet addresses, right? I love you guys. I love you so much. I really, really do. But this is what we talk about staying neutral and having a freer thought about the things that happen in our cyber world around us. There is an entire untapped pen testing space around blockchain and Web3. And there are people looking for these types of testing, these types of auditing, these types of code analysis all the time. All the time. But because you saw a reel somewhere, or because you heard some politician saying, blockchain's only for criminals, crypto bros are ruining the world, I got scammed out of a meme coin, you say, well, F that crypto stuff. This is why you should tune into Cyber Insecurity for all your things cybersecurity related. Come get an unbiased, truthful opinion on what's happening in the cyber world. All right, we got to. So back to the ads conversation. I just got a pop up says ads start in 5 minutes. I'm going to snooze this. We're going to try to finish this up before the bottom of the hour, so y'all don't get hit with ads. See if we can't kill a couple more of these, right? Let's see what we can't do to get a couple more of these in super fast. Answered that one already. That's cool. There was one that I saw. It was really, really good. This one was really good, right? What are your thoughts on starting out a career in cyber in the consulting space? 10 of 10, absolutely, hands down, thinks everybody should start in consulting. I think there are two things that every cybersecurity person should do at least once in their career. One of them may be challenging. I acknowledge that, but I think everybody should spend some time in military. Everybody should spend some time in military. Why? Discipline, military warfare tactics. Those two things. I think those two things are absolutely critical to everybody starting out in cyber. That doesn't mean you have to be in the military. You can go learn, go study, go research military strategy, things like that. But you should spend some time understanding military strategy. I think cyber and military are so much more closely related than anybody else understands. Right? The second thing is consulting. I think everybody should spend time in consulting. The amount of time that you have to work on 5 clients' problems, who are all 5 different problems all at the same time. So you see 5 different problems, 5 different technology stacks, 5 different ways to solve the problem. Maybe 1 or 2 of them will work and the other 3 will fail. Who the hell knows, right? Right? So I think cyber consulting, like consulting, is a fantastic way to see the world around us. Again, opinions, I absolutely love it. Boo, no thanks on my military. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not here to say that like I'm right, you're wrong. What I'm here to say is at least go out and try to learn military strategy. Go out and learn military strategy. Thank you for that. That makes me all warm and fuzzy on the inside. What should the public sector do to recruit or retain top cyber talent? The public sector needs to figure out how to fight salary disparity. Right? Most of you, and listen, I'm not here to say you shouldn't chase money. Like everybody's got bills to pay. I got bills to pay. You got bills to pay. Everybody's got bills to pay. You should be chasing money. Love John Rao. John Rao's been on the stream before. Him and I talk about this frequently. Anybody who tells you, oh, don't go into cyber for the money. And I can say this as a person who started saying this, and then I realized chasing money is what makes the world go around. You got bills to pay. Get your freaking bills paid, right? There's a lot of money to be made in the private sector on cyber. There is a lot of money to be made out here. And until the public sector can figure out how to bridge that gap, until the public sector can figure out how to bridge that gap, it will be hard. It will be super hard for them to really, really attract top tier talent. Hands down, period, dot. I don't know how. I don't know how the public sector does it. I don't even begin to know how the public sector does this. But I do think that that is a challenge that the public sector has to try to figure out is what can they, because they'll never be able to catch up to private sector pay raises. Right? I don't think that they'll ever be able to catch up to that. And so they have to do something that incentivizes people. Like, I wish they would talk more about the missions that they service, because I do think that there's a large amount of people who want to do civil service because they have a fundamental belief in civil service. But I don't think that the government has done a really good job of educating people on what some of the good things are that they do to be in civil service. Right? I think that's the big thing. They need to figure out a way to bridge that gap, honestly. What advice do you have for a blue teamer that has only been in the industry for a year? Learn more stuff. Right? If you've only been in the industry for a year and you currently have a blue teamer job, you should be soaking up all the knowledge. Soak it all up. Right? You should be a sponge. Be in every incident. If you're a blue teamer, and you're dealing with incidents, or you got people around you dealing with incidents, you should be in every incident. Even if you're just watching, be in every incident. Ask your leadership to put you in every incident. Ask your leadership to give you more speaking opportunities. Ask your leadership to allow you to write more policies and procedures. You should be hungry. Like how I did that with the accent? You should be hungry. I hesitated to bring this up. but I want to bring it up. I saw a study. I have not independently verified this. I want to say that because I do a ton of research, especially when prepping for content for this stream. And so I want to share this, but understand that I've only seen it in a handful of places. 75% of companies are refusing to hire millennials and newer generations because they feel like the quality of the talent that they're getting isn't what it needs to be. Again, take it for what it's worth. I haven't independently verified this, but this was the study that I saw. And so, if for a second we assume that that study is based on statistical science, I would form an opinion. See, like how I do this. I'm being very, very transparent. I'm not telling you a statement of fact. I'm not telling you that this is the reality of the world. This is, if I were to take that study and I were to objectively ask myself, why do I think that is? I would say it's because you're not hungry enough. That would be my advice to you. Make sure that you have an appropriate desire to be excited and learn in your role. Priority question. Again, another benefit of those in Twitch, you can choose to have your question highlighted. We do consider those. Questions to be priority questions. I lost it on my screen. There it is. Hey, I have a quick question. I've been studying the Google cybersecurity course, but I don't see any opportunity for work. Not sure if you want to know where I am from, but any tips for me? I'm happy to know where you're from, but I'll generally say today's opportunity for work is tough. Right? The job market now is absolutely horrid. Absolutely horrid. Right? And so I would say don't take the current job market and think that it's you. It is the current job market. The way people are getting, and again, like I read all the horror stories just for transparency, right? When I research, right? I read so much, and I'm happy to. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do like a webinar where people can come and say like, what is Neal's research thing that he does? And I'll show you like all the subreddits that I read, all the X accounts I follow, all the Instagram accounts I follow, all the TikTok accounts that I follow, right? Where I use these things to get ideas of stuff happening that then I lead into ADHD rabbit trails for research, right? Of all the things that I research, the thing that is absolutely universal is that getting a job in today's economy is the worst it has ever been. Ever. Knuckle down. That's my dad speak on today's current economy. There is no magic formula to the job market today. There are people going literal years without finding a job. Now, if that were happening 5 years ago when we started this stream, I would tell you that if you've been out of work for a year, it's probably your resume, it's probably your network, it's probably your interview skills. And I could say those with almost a 90% confidence. Right? Today, I couldn't be confident in telling you why you're not getting a job after a year. It's that hard. Right? There's so many ghost jobs. There's so many jobs that get posted just to have the job rec opening. There's so many recruiters that are ghosting people. There's so much competition for jobs. There's so much financial insecurity in the corporate world. It is fundamentally challenging these days to get a job. And so while I appreciate this question, keep grinding. I know that that's not easy to say. Make sure your network is in good order. We've had folks on this stream, the majority of the folks that we've had on this stream who have been laid off. We had Jeremy Ventura, got laid off, found a job. We have Rick McElroy, got laid off, found a job. We had Jeff Goals from Old Guy Wednesday, got laid off, found a job. We bring people on this stream who've got laid off and found jobs relatively quickly to talk about how they've been successful. It still feels like we're in a world where it's who you know. So basically your network that helps people get jobs these days. That's the best advice I can tell you, is that in today's current economy, network still seemingly prevails. Keep at it. You will get there. I believe in all of you. With that being said, I'm gonna try to get off of here before the ads start back up again. I don't want everybody to have to hit ads here at the last minute. Thank you all so very much for the questions. Thank you all for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. Reminder, hop into Discord. I absolutely make sure that you're in Discord. Make sure you got the notifications turned on, right? Appreciate everybody who comes over to the socials, right? Especially my personal Instagram account to follow my golf journey. We didn't talk about golf this morning, but I absolutely love it. Thank you all so very much for the support on the golf side of things. Make sure you tune in. You got notifications on. Triple stream next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Be there or be square. Whether you're on the red side or the blue side or still deciding, keep learning. And I'll see y'all next time.
Now though, I'm not slowing down though. Coming for that crown though. I got people who been looking up to me. I can't ever go and let them down though. Only 21, yeah, I'm very young. I'm still trying to figure out my route though. I've been falling back on some bad habits, getting distracted by the wrong things. Trying to balance out the music life with this social.